And then from there, one of the things I like to do with drums especially is to do parallel compression. So what I'll do is, right now I have all the drums going to this one bus right here. So you're just hearing the dry signal right there. And then I'll just duplicate this entire bus. And then I'll put, you know, compressors and maybe some saturation, like little OTT, something like that. And then that way you can just blend it in, just a little bit of that, just to get kind of more life out of the drums. For this one, I'm just doing a really snappy compression, really punchy, attacky kind of compression, really kind of extreme, because you're just going to blend it in a bit, so you can afford to have it be kind of super over the top. And then the OTT is kind of bringing up some of the sustain and kind of the noisier elements. So this is just the dry drums here. And then with the parallel compression. So here's what everything sounds like together.
Honestly, it was an accident, if you ask me. Like, we was just in here recording, and we just decided, like, yeah, we're gonna go to the studio today, do this song. We in here doing the song. He was like, bro, I need a tag. Like, just go in there and say something. He knew partially what he wanted for the tag, so I went in there, I added a little flavor to it, and the rest really history. Like,
I ain't even bounced the tag out when I first got it.
that shit was just on the song.
It was just on one song. And we planning for, like, really, me and Nico had some girls at my mama's house, and I was planning. I took the girl in the room. She like, oh, yeah, I like that. Da, da, da. Next day, I called Juice. I'm like, hey, bro, can you bounce me out that tag? Like, I need to put that on everything.
Yeah.
He calls me the next day. Yo, Juice, that tag, I don't know what he's talking about, you know, because I'm tired. I've been recording 1,000 people in the last 2 days. So I go back to the song. Oh, Lord. Oh, okay, yeah, I'm gonna send it to you. Okay, send him the tag. The next thing I know, every beat from there on. Oh, Lord, Jetsonmade it. Oh, Lord, Jetsonmade it. Oh, Lord. And that's what it is.
Okay, so this next one I definitely wish someone had told me a long time ago, because I spent a really long time completely messing up my mixes doing it. When I started mixing, I read a bunch of blog posts and articles that said the purpose of EQ is to carve out space for every instrument to have its little area in the frequency ranges that it's supposed to live in. And, you know, you would use EQ to kind of sculpt the stems around each other so that they fit in nicely. Okay, so when I started out, I would just think, okay, you know, whatever, let me just high pass this and we'll be good to go. I'll turn this on and then I'll find the fundamental and put it just under this. Okay, but the issue with this is that even though the fundamental that I'm mostly working with is around here, and even though I am cutting out all of this frequency space for instance, like my bass or my drums or my vocals maybe to live, I am losing all of the character that might come with anything that's kind of lower in this range. So I would not recommend actually doing this instead. High passing everything is just going to make everything sound kind of like dull and flat, and all the sounds will lose their character. So instead, I recommend using a low shelf. Oh, sorry, that's a high shelf. That's a low shelf. And basically, we're just, instead of completely filtering out everything down here, like everything below a certain range, we're just turning down everything below a certain range. And we can do it gently. We can, you know, change the Q a little bit to preserve a little bit more of this lower character. So here, you might not be able to hear the difference, but let's see. So we had this little spike. Wonder what that was. Yeah, I don't know. So just some low harmonic. I can't really hear it even myself. I'm not quite sure what that is. But so if we completely filter it out, it's going to sound different. It's going to sound more thin. And even though we're making more room, it's not generally preferable to just completely high pass unless you have a good reason. Okay, so this next one, I have to admit, is really hard. And it's something that I still don't really do quite enough, despite the fact that I'm making a video recommending that you do this. I could still take this advice myself.
Listen, nobody can do what you do. I don't care if somebody tells you like you're trash or it's not good. They just don't see who you are. I feel like one of my big talents, and even talents of producers, is they don't see people for what they are right now. They see what they can become. Big example, one of the greatest pieces that we have available is this one clip where Pharrell is making the beat for Allure. You see him pitch it in real time. That's like one of my favorite records. If you see the video, he clearly had a ton of joy making it because you see him smiling, laughing, excited, looking at the camera and being like, oh, like I know I got one. He wasn't like thinking about like, oh, what is Max Martin doing? What is Just Blaze doing? What is Kanye doing? He was like, no, I got this killer ass idea. Let's go crazy. In order for you to create your own wave, you have to be your authentic self. Let me give you another example. Pierre Bourne. Pierre Bourne didn't say, okay, I'm gonna make beats like Southside or Metro. He literally got inspired by video games and created his own wave. And now look at him. Whenever he comes out with something or he works with Cardi, people love that. So you're better off doing your own thing and being your authentic self. Create your own wave.
What I liked was also that at some point we just had some people come over, like Ross was there, and we were like about 6-7 people in the room with the drum mic. So I was just like, hey, let's just all record like gang shouts, stomp on the ground, clap, hit everything we can find and stuff. So we got some like cool like group stomps in there and big crowd claps.
Real body percussion.
Yeah,
they came out
cool.
seriously good as well.
I really like those.
It sounds like wartime.
Like big cinema, tom hits, and then you have like taiko stick, where everyone's stomping in the room. So if you just put them in here, you can like arrange them to get a really cool cinematic loop. So we'll go stomp, stomp, clap, stomp, stomp, clap, something like that. And then maybe layer the big stomps with some of the cinematic toms and stuff. I'm just like alternating between all these different hits, so it doesn't sound like I'm using the same one over and over, so we don't get this like annoying kind of gunshotty drum repetition sound. If you're missing something here, you can go into the top loops and get like some shakers on top of this or something to brighten it up again. Yeah, this is just immediately creates new ideas. Dramatic rhythm intro, drums already done. Beautiful. I also went to some music store before and just bought all kinds of random percussion just to like hit, to like tie to the snare, like a cowbell, but also like just some stuff that rattles to like tape to the snare drum. So like every snare drum would have like a rattle to it and stuff. We'd just mess around with that.
Yeah, I had a couple iPhones, a wallet, egg, maraca, shaker things hanging off the snare at one point. We were layering up.
Yeah, with like most sample packs, all the drums are like very electronic and very processed, and they all sound very different. But if you only have like one drum kit, you have to get crafty to make it sound, like to make it create lots of different sounds. So that's what we were going for here.
Well, there was one point where like Pat was playing drums, and both me and Val were like grabbing cymbals at the same time, shakers, and just doing some weird like fun stuff that normally we usually have like a song we have to play and get the track done for, whereas this was just like, let's just have fun.
With some cowbell fun and people shouting.
Yeah, that one was sick.
Yeah,
See, this is how crazy manipulated we were getting with it. Things started not sounding like drums by the end of it. And because they mainly weren't. That could have been some fencing outside.
I put some of the like sticks on the rims through like a bit crusher and stuff.
Sick.
Oh, I think that's the cowbell as well. It's like one of these. Oh yeah, right.
Yeah.
With like proper processing. And these were even more just like sticks and stuff.
When I actually met Southside, I was working with this kid named Ben G from my city. And he and Waka Flocka had like some kind of situation going. So I met Ben, then I met Waka. Waka introduced me to 808 Mafia. Being in that city and knowing some of these sessions were like super fast paced, like just being prepared, having beats, making sure the beats are already ready. Because we're dealing with the trap at that point. We're dealing with trap rappers and we're dealing with people who aren't necessarily from a musical background. So they expect things to be ready by the time they're ready to record. So just having tons of beats and being ready to stay up late in the studio and being around a bunch of weed smoke.